Inside the OMG episode number 339. 339. I realize the video is what it is, and I'm going to fix it. And, okay, there's that camera, but I'm trying to get this one. So, you know, let me see what's going on here. Episode 339. What a great image. It's very artsy. Very, What's that one? No. Let me try something here. Stand by, stand by. You know, it worked a few minutes ago when I was setting it all up, and now it doesn't want to do it. Okay, well. Oh, I heard it click on. There we go. That's the one I wanted. Inside the OMG episode number 339. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Well, things have taken a turn. This week is different than what was originally planned. I am not in my home studio, and I do not have any instruments with me tonight. So tonight is going to be a different type of show. It's going to be even more interactive than it usually is. This is going to be either a nice long one with your participation, or it'll be extremely short. So feel free to ask some questions. I'm happy to share some stories with you, tell you about something that's happened over the last however many years I've been in music, or voiceovers. Oh, isn't that nice? Just randomly. Okay, well, we'll just fix it with that, right? We'll just do that. Randomly wants to do its own thing tonight. I don't know. It has a mind of its own. I will periodically check that camera. See if we can... Oh, see? I don't even know. Sarah! Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. I don't know how much you caught. I'm not in my usual spot. Things took a turn this week, and I had to do some traveling. So that being said, I traveled all day, and where I'm at, I have no instruments. Next week, I will have instruments, so I'll be able to do some things. I don't have any videos queued up, as I was just needing to get this up and running as soon as possible. So tonight's going to be a question and answer. Sarah, I see that you're here. And Chip and Janet, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yes. Okay. 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 Thank you. All right. Oh, there we go. Now it's back on again. I don't know. It wants to work, and then it doesn't want to work. So ask away. I don't have any videos queued up for tonight. And like I said, I don't have a guitar or piano handy at the moment, which is fine. So, got any questions? Oh, I can talk about this. Birthday show. October 18th. Oh, I can talk about this too. Sadly, we were invited to do a gig at St. Rock in September, but we're not available. Unfortunately, we're not available, so not all of us are available, so we can't do it. So for a second, I thought, ooh, nice. Pop-up show. St. Rock, Hermosa Beach, before the birthday show. But it wasn't to be. That's okay. It happens. So October 18th, tickets are on sale for Alexa and Olio at the Mint. It's a Saturday night. I'm going to tell you the actual time. Usually I tell people, to give them a buffer so they sometimes, traffic can be what it is. People are running a little behind. So you tell them 7. Actually, we go on at 7:30. So there you go. Oh, got to switch. No, that's no good. All right, back to this. I don't know what's the deal with on again, off again. Don't know why it's doing that. No clue. No clue. Birthday show. Is it becoming a thing? Last year was a blast. I think it's becoming a thing, Chip. I think birthday show, it just totally worked out. It was a Saturday night. They asked us back to go, to play at the Mint, which this would be something cool for you to see live because it's a 85-minute show, 20 songs, Alexa and Olio combined. Pretty good. Just saying. Sarah says, saw and heard you from the start of this live stream, a little blurry at first, but it's okay. Yeah, you probably saw this image. Oh, yeah. Now it wants to work. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Technology is just being what it's being. And it's like, it's good. And then it'll freeze and I can just switch. So it's like kind of a by default 2-camera setup tonight. So I like using the iPhone, this one that you're looking at right now, because it's a sharper image. To me, it seems like it's a cleaner image, which is why I like to use it. But I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. So there you go. There you go. So October 18th, I think I mentioned that Barry laid down a bunch of drums for Alexa's songs. So working on that. Yep, I see it. Switching over. Look at that. Boom. So working on producing her songs. And Barry's out. He's doing quite a bit. He's got two gigs he's working on currently. He's doing some traveling. He's playing with Rose Royce. And he's back playing with George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic. So he's doing both groups, and he's just tearing it up out there. And, so back in the 90s, he toured with Parliament. They were the P-Funk All-Stars, George Clinton and the P-Funk All-Stars. So he did 2 years of touring with them, 2 years of touring with the Gap Band in the 90s, and did some shows with Donna Summer as her percussionist. And Sarah says, all good. You're coming through nicely. Glad to be here. Fantastic. So he's out. He ran into George recently, and George said, Barry, come on, I need you. Come do some shows. So what they're doing is they split their drumming. They've got a drummer that's been doing some shows, I guess, with George for the last few years. And George likes to have Barry on the older school stuff, like the Atomic Dog and Flashlight and Knee Deep, these songs, the classics. So he gets Barry on those. So it's nice for Barry because Barry, I think sometimes those shows are pretty long. So Barry's doing half the show and another drummer's doing the other half. And it's great. So Barry's having a really good time. I know he's been doing shows all over the U.S. And so now George is heading overseas. And Barry was trying to make that work. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do all of those dates, but he might do some dates in Australia. So in September. So that's pretty cool. Are they coming to DC? Maybe. Just I'm sure you can just look up George Clinton tour dates, and it'll let you know what's going on. I think they were recently in Philadelphia, New York, and then somewhere in the Midwest, San Diego. Here, actually, let me see what I can fill you in on where they have been. Just looking back through my notes. Let's see here. All right, with Rolls Royce, September 9th, Kansas City. The 14th, Philadelphia. 16th, Oklahoma City. New York State Fair on the 23rd, August 23rd. That was with George Clinton. And then the 20, okay, is that right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. The 20th was the New York State Fair. The 23rd is with Rolls Royce in San Diego. And the 24th, it was 2 nights ago, Baltimore. So 2 nights ago, George Clinton did a show in Baltimore. On the 30th, he's with Rolls Royce at the New York State Fair again. 31st in Denver with Rolls Royce. So that's the dates I've got. I mean, most of them have already happened. So Baltimore was a couple nights ago. Too bad. That's a bummer. So, yeah. Samantha, what's up? How are you? Let's try this one. All right, I'm bouncing back and forth between the iPhone camera and the laptop camera. I think the iPhone camera is better. So for those of you that have tuned in a little later, I'm not in my usual studio, and I don't have any instruments with me tonight. So I don't have any, not playing any songs live, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Started playing professionally. I mean, you could technically in high school. I was getting paid to play shows. And then moved out to LA at 17. Got in some bands, played the Sunset Strip. Then did a solo thing. Oh no, then there was a couple of hard rock bands I was in, and then I did a solo thing, and then that was in the 90s, and then Vivid happened, and that had to change her name to Olio, which has been since 1998. Started writing music for film in 2006, and a bunch of commercial work, writing music for commercials, and then about 6 years ago jumped into voiceovers. So been busy, and also producing other singer-songwriters. So I've been wearing a lot of hats in entertainment. Anything that I can record, studio work, guitar, voice, singing, voice acting, composing, songwriting, you know. Yeah, Jimmy, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Howdy, howdy. Samantha, I'm good. Picking up my son from college. How are you? Doing good. Doing good. Wow, picking up your son from college. Yeah, right? You blinked. It's crazy. It's crazy how just you blink a couple times and all of a sudden the years go by. Don't even know how that is. Okay, Sarah, thank you. Got a question from Sarah. Do you ever get nervous? Have you ever been nervous before you going on stage and performing, etc.? Okay. I'll give you my nervous story. I started having to perform and being judged, when I was playing classical piano. From the time I was 8 years old to about 14, I was studying classical piano, and I was putting a good amount of time into it. And so I have to memorize a bunch, like 10 different pieces of music. And then I would be judged. This was in Northern Virginia. And so I guess I would be a little nervous, but that was a different kind of performing, because the only other people in the audience were the other students that were going to also perform, and parents. Okay, so that's fine. But I was being judged, and I'd practice a lot and prepare for it and do that. And then I put bands together and started performing with bands. And I would have varying degrees of nervousness, I guess, in those days. It was cover songs, wasn't my own music. So I don't think I was as nervous. I mean, a little bit. Yeah, I'm always a little. I have a little bit of, you know, anxiety or nervous energy, but I'm able to, channel that and put it into the performance to varying degrees. And then I'd say once I moved out to California and started actually writing my own stuff and performing my own songs, not necessarily in the band setting, because I was in a couple hard rock bands that I mentioned earlier. I wouldn't, I mean, yeah, I was co-writing, but I wasn't the lead singer. I was one of the guitar players, and it was easy to just kind of blend in and perform and have fun and all that. I think once I started putting myself out there as a solo artist, then I thought, whoa. Because now I'm not being only judged, I'm not only being judged for performing, but I'm also being judged with what I'm writing, my songs. And so I think I was a little more nervous about that at the beginning of that period. And I recall once I played a place more than once, I was much better the second time and on. The first time, I'd be extra nervous, but I realized I wasn't as performing as I was nervous about, well, how's it going to sound? Is the sound person going to make it sound good? I don't have any control over what it sounds like. That was always a thing, people would come see us play, and I couldn't really hear your vocals. I have nothing to do with that. The sound engineer has to balance that out. So I would, and also, can I hear myself? Are there monitors on stage at this place that I'm going to be able to hear my vocals? So I can, because I need to hear myself, so I'm not over singing and blowing out my voice. That's definitely happened in my life, where I over sing and push too hard and blow out my voice, and that's no good. So I'd say there was more nerves through that period. And then when we got to Olio, and then the confidence that I had, especially playing with D, and then, the different bass players that we've had over the years, my confidence just grew, knowing that we were going to crush it. And really what changed it for me is once we started touring. Because now we were playing 3 weeks at a time, 21 shows in a row, 21 days in a row. And you're playing places you've never been to, in front of people you've never seen. They've never seen you. They don't know who you are. And our motto was always, give the biggest, the best show that you can, as if you're playing in front of thousands. And once I started touring, it's just a different, I'm fine. It's just turn it on mode. Let's go. Showtime, turn it on. And yeah, so now the only times I really get nervous are when we're doing a new song. And it's more about, am I going to remember the words? Am I going to remember the parts? I mean, most of these other songs I've been playing for so long that I'm able to not worry about it. So that's when we do new material, is when I get back to that, that nervous energy of, I hope I don't blow this. But it's exciting though. It's just because you just don't know, and maybe sometimes, especially when they're new songs, you might improvise and go somewhere you didn't expect, which ends up becoming super cool that you end up using. And that, I don't know how that happened or why that happened, but the song is now changed and we're doing it that way from now on, whatever that little element or piece was. So that's really cool. So yeah, so that was a long answer, but no instruments tonight. You're going to get a long answer. I appreciate it. All right, Chip. Were you paid for the sock hop in high school? I don't know if we were paid for the sock hop, but we got paid for parties. Like, I think we got paid for, the pool parties or backyard parties, or I know I was paid for a few things. I mean, it wasn't anything, you know, I couldn't retire. But I thought we got something. Um, yeah, but that sock hop, that was in December of our senior year. I remember, and we rolled out the upright piano. We did uh, 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 the Journey song. I played piano. Open Arms. Yeah, we played Open Arms. Yeah, that's right. And we did a set of, it was just a set of like rock, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, What I Like About You, a mix of just whatever the, you know, popular stuff was at the time. But yeah, I remember that. Um, Sarah says, right on, I'm loving this. Confidence, right? Yes, you should have been paid for sock hop. Well, I hope I was. If I wasn't, maybe we can go back and do you know, what's the term? Back pay. Back pay. Yeah, so the sock hop it was in the cafeteria. And I believe there was a platform built, like a stage was built. And yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I played guitar and piano on the one song. It was a 5-piece band, right? Greg on drums. No, Greg on bass. Mike on drums. It was Brett singing and Mark on guitar and me on guitar. Yeah, with interest. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. I like it. With interest. Yeah, but Samantha, that was a great question. So it's fun now working with Alexa, and she's got lots of experience performing. She's been performing her whole life. But as I mentioned, when it's your stuff, it's a different kind of. I was looking up there. It's a different kind of feeling when it's your songs, and so you know, you just it's like these are my babies, and they're going to be judged, and so it's been fun working with her, and just you know, her performing with the three of us. It's safe for her. It's safe for her to do her thing, and she can lean on us in terms of that energy, that nervous energy or anything, you know. I mean, and she's so good. It's like note one, she's not nervous anymore, and she's in, you know. So it's great. But yeah, it's fun to watch her as she like prepares right before the show, and it's like, okay, here we go, and then you know, show starts and we do it. Sarah, I'm gonna say it again. Your voice acting is the absolute best. Oh, I appreciate that. You had a comment up above, and I was busy yapping, and but yes, thank you for that. And Sarah, that's how you found me and Olio, was through the Dr. No Sleep Horror Story channel. And do you know how I fell into that? Do you know how the horror story thing for me even happened? I think they had a couple different narrators in the beginning. Yeah, Sarah says, I love Alexa's music. That Girl Get Your Money Back is fire. Sure is. That's so fun. So fun. So that was a song that was on my notebook of song titles that we went through. And as an exercise, Alexa and I were going through the song titles in my song title notes. And she said, oh, Get Your Money Back. That could be cool. And so then we just kind of went back and forth. And I was like, oh, okay, well, how about, she added Girl. Girl, Get Your Money Back. Let's tell a story and a girl's point of view of that idea. And that's been fun. So let me back up and tell you the voice acting deal. Alexa's acting coach had approached me and said, you should really be doing some voice acting because you have a studio, you got a strong voice, you'd be great, and you should do it. And okay, I have no idea where to begin, what to do. It's like, make make an audition of 5 different types of samples, 30 seconds, and start auditioning. You got all the stuff, go do it. You are the most welcome. That's exactly how I found my way here. Yes. So I saw an ad, horror story channel, looking for narrator, and I took a passage of Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, read a paragraph, and I thought, I mean, I can't just read it like this, in this voice. So I decided to read the text in a mysterious voice. And the guys that run Dr. No Sleep thought, or they got back to me and said, yes, we want you. Here's the first script. Give it a go. And from day one, they gave me no direction. Because from day one, I took the script and I started creating character voices, and I would do just kind of that mysterious lower voice as the narrator, and I just had fun with it. And they just were like, do what you do. This is great. And I would ask repeatedly, is this what you're looking for? Like, I don't even know, what you want. And they're like, no, you don't understand. This is perfect. So for 6 months, I was cranking out scripts. They were sending me scripts, and I was cranking out the voiceovers and sending them back. And I had really no idea the channel, where it was, what it was. I didn't even know they were animating the stories. They were taking a portion of the stories and animating them. I had no idea. And 6 months later, I thought, maybe I should just like Google this. What is this? So I Google it, and I found the channel on YouTube, the Dr. No Sleep channel. And they used to animate a lot more than they do now. They don't do it as much because it's time consuming and expensive, to animate all that. So I find the channel, and it's got 500,000 subscribers, and some of the videos that I narrated had a couple million views. It's all these comments, people tuning in, people with opinions. Some, you got a lot of positive feedback for what I was doing, and I had no idea. And so I'd go through the comments, and whenever someone would say something positive, I would, hey, thanks for listening. Hey, appreciate you being here. And somehow, Sarah, in one of those things, you came over. Maybe, I know I did an ad for the Champion single that we put out on the Dr. No Sleep channel. So maybe you saw that ad or heard that ad and then came over and discovered, what I do musically. So, yeah. Crazy. I never imagined 6-7 years ago that I would be doing the voice acting thing. But it's interesting because it makes a lot of sense for my own story personally, because I remember being 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. I grew up in Northern Virginia, and one of the public stations, especially Sunday nights, it's like 88.5 maybe. I don't even know if that's right. But they would have old-time radio dramas that they were rebroadcasting from the 40s. And I would lay in bed, and I'd have my headphones on, big, bulky headphones, and I'd lay in bed, and I'd listen to these radio dramas from the 40s. I just was captivated, and I just couldn't get enough of them, and I just thought it was so cool. And then I do remember making my own, like I'd pretend to be a DJ, and I'd record myself on cassette, and I'd do a little weather segment, and I'd introduce the song, and I'd do whatever. I was pretending to be a DJ, and I was recording it. I was, young, and I enjoyed doing that. And then whatever, kind of forgot about that phase as I got older, became a teenager, started playing guitar, kind of put classical piano on the side, and learned how to, as my mom would say, I had the screeching cat. I had the screeching cat. You know, why does it have to sound like a screeching cat when you play so high? Like, I don't know. That's the sound, Mom. That's what it is. So I never imagined that I'd get back to the voice thing, but it's really been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying doing it, and it's interesting because the two things that have kind of pulled focus for me are the horror stories and sleep stories. So I have a few clients that hire me to do sleep stories as well. So it's pretty cool. And there's people that say they'll listen to the horror stories to go to sleep. They like put on the horror stories that I narrate, and that helps them go to sleep. Hey, good for you. That's great. So funny. So Sarah's saying, you are most welcome. That's exactly how I found my way here. Yeah, so from the Champions single release. So awesome. You really do have the superb voice for it all, and the way you embody all the characters is just brilliant. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you listening, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun because when I do it, I really just kind of get in the zone, and I let the story take over. And especially when the stories are really well written, it's fun. It's really fun. Yeah. I really like, there's the one story, the trading, the bar secrets, trading bar secrets for drinks. But you have to tell a secret that no one knows, that no one would know. And that's a good one. That's a good one. But there's so many stories I've done. I don't even know the amount. I don't even know that all of the stories I've done are even posted. Or, I take that back, I think there's 80 bonus stories that you have to have a paid subscription. So you have access to those 80. Plus, I've done at least 1,000. No kidding, at least 1,000 of those horror stories. So yeah. Oh, Chip. Chip says, "Can you give a sample of the mysterious mysterious narrator voice?" Yeah, okay. I can. Let me do this because this will help. I'm going to... How about I pull up a script? Let me do that. I'm going to pull up a script, and I'll do a little partial read. And... all right, here's something unreleased, okay? I recorded this a few days ago. Okay, let's see here. Let me move some things out of the way so I can see. All right, I got to get right up on the mic. Okay. See the process here. What I don't have is the benefit of having, I get to like stop when I mess up. I stop, rewind, whatever. So I'll give you a paragraph. Let's see what happens. Without the two pumps out front, it would have been hard to tell the structure was a gas station at all. It more closely resembled an ancient general store thanks to the log cabin design, which included a covered porch with two wooden rocking chairs that looked like they would collapse if a toddler sat on them. An old sun-faded Coke machine sat under the front awning,
next to a window that looked as if it hadn't been cleared since back when people were worried about Y2K bringing the world to its knees. But as I approached the two-story gas station on foot, kicking through the tawny weeds on one shoulder of the pockmarked two-lane highway, I had to admit there was a certain charm to the place. It was certainly better than one of those cookie-cutter gas stations you see off major interstates.
Ta-da. There you go. Mysterious narrator voice. All right. So, yeah. Oh, wow, yes. That is awesome. I appreciate that. Let's see if this phone's back up and running. It is. Much clearer. Much clearer, but choppy. Oh, it's going to do that deal. Okay, so I got to do this. All right, cool. Bravo. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay. All right. So, yeah. And then as I'm going, when, characters come up, I have to keep track. Here's another little funny little kind of piece of this whole, the voiceover component. Sometimes a story goes over really well. The script's well done. I do my thing, and then the guys put on some really great music and sound effects and whatnot, and it really, the whole thing comes together, and it's just the perfect storm of all the right ingredients and all the right things. And then, in the meantime, I will have recorded 50 other stories. And then I get a part 2. Part 2 of that story I did like 3 months ago. What were those voices I did? Now I got to go back and I got to find the story and quickly oh yeah, that guy had that voice. And that, okay, and there's that voice and that voice. And I have to kind of notate what voices I made up for those various characters, so that when I do part 2 of this story that I didn't realize was going to be a part 2, and maybe they didn't realize either, but because it went over so well, people were like, we need a part 2. That's where, that feedback is crucial. People give feedback where they really like the story and they want a part 2. And so then they call the writer up and like, hey, give us a part 2. And then they send it to me, and then I have to go back and find the voices and then do it. So that happened recently. I just did I'll tell you. This was a pretty popular one. So it's the slashers versus mafias. So Sarah, if you know that story, I just recorded the slashers versus mafias prison break. And it's a 3-parter. And it's long. It's a long story. I'd say all 3 episodes together, it's probably over a couple hours. It's like a 2-hour deal. So yeah, that took me some time. So I had to go back and I had to listen to the voices that I had created from the past and make sure that it synced up and matched, because I don't want to hear, I don't want to get that feedback. Hey, why does that guy sound different this time? Don't want to disappoint. Don't want to disappoint. So, yeah. So, mysterious narrator voice. It's fun. And it helps me because you got to do it close onto the mic. And it's also tough, it's not a voice that you can really project because that tone is kind of within, and it becomes, it's an intimate tone, and you can be dynamic with it, but the microphone's got to be able to pick that up. So you can do it justice. That's what I'm saying. Oh, all right. I'm skipping that. No more. I'm not going to check that that camera anymore because it's just not happening. It's glitching too much. All right. I'm up on Facebook as well, streaming live. But it doesn't look like I've got any comments there. Oh, was live. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, there we go. Is live. There we go. No comments on the Facebook feed, which is fine. Just wanted to check, make sure. Fantastic insights you're sharing, right? It's just awesome. Thank you. Thanks for being here and being part of it. So if you got any other questions about anything, meant right now. All good. I got it. Oops, right now I meant. Oh, by the way, Sarah, I noticed there isn't any double or triple repeated posts. So looks like you figured out your gremlin that was inside your digital interface if you're on a phone or on a computer. Yeah. So you figured it out. Impressive. I seem to have just various challenges every week. There's some new deal, like the video wants to be glitchy, or there's no sound on the videos, or who knows, whatever. And this week, my phone's just doing its own thing. But at least, still able to communicate, still able to see me, and we're making it happen. Being consistent. Episode 339. That just seems like random numbers thrown together. What episode should it be? I don't know. 339. That sounds believable. That sounds good. But when you realize the history of 339 Tuesdays in a row, where are we? 6 years? Yeah, since 2019. We're coming up on 6.5 years. Wild. Possibly next week. What, the glitch is back? Possibly next week, where the double posting? Double the pleasure, double the post. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, on those duplicates. Exactly. Yep. Nice. All right. So I will have a guitar next week. What songs would you like me to prepare? Or are there any videos you haven't seen in a while that you'd like me to share? Like Sarah, you brought up a good one a few weeks ago, which was Idiot Girl that Dee sang on. And I found that clip from the Santa Monica Pier back in 2011. And that was pretty great. So that was a great suggestion. If you have any suggestions for me that I can set up for next week, let me know. Drop them in the comments, and that way I can kind of prepare some things. But I will have a guitar. I will be able to sing some songs next week. Samantha, you never disappoint. Rich people problems. Okay, I have a serious question, and I'm genuinely serious. And I love that you requested, but you don't get tired of me doing it, singing Rich People Problems, week, because sometimes it's like week after week. I mean, that's great. I'm happy. I'm always happy to do it, seriously. But sometimes I'm just like, are you sure you want to hear that again? But maybe you do. Believe in it for sure. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes, Samantha, says Sarah. Yeah, believe in it. Yeah, believe in it. All right, so we got 2 songs for sure next week, Rich People and Believe in It. Absolutely. Here's another practical question. Do you like when artists do different versions of the recorded song? So by default, if I'm playing it just by myself on an acoustic guitar, it's going to be a different version than the full band version. But do you like even like different arrangements of songs that you like? Or is it just like, why is he doing it like that? Or why can't they just do it the way, or, some people like, oh, that was creative. That was cool. I love that song, but I love it has a twist. It's a little different. So do you like to hear it performed differently in a new creative way? Or is it more, no, I like it the way I like it. I want to hear it like that, note for note. Otherwise, see ya. Okay. Samantha says, never. I love it. Okay, so you you don't get tired of rich people problems. Okay, good. No, I don't get tired of it. I look forward to it every time. Time for tea. 4 o'clock, time for tea. Absolutely. Rich People Problems is a catchy, good song. Sticks in my head. Well, okay, fair enough. You do have the benefit, since we're not all over radio, not that people listen to radio anymore, you can't get sick of it that way, right? It's not like, every time I get in the car, this song is on. Turn on the TV. There it is again. It's in it's in that Marvel movie. I wouldn't complain if it was all over the radio or in a Marvel movie. But yeah, so really the only place you can get sick of it is here on this show, or if you come see us live, or if you're playing it on Apple Music or Spotify. But you're typically choosing to hear it or not. So it's not forced into your ears. So, and trust me, believe me, I am grateful and happy that you're requesting for me to play it. It's fantastic. There's nothing better than people enjoying the songs that we've created and you want to hear them. It's super fulfilling, super fun. I love it. It reminds me of the show at the Rose. Yeah, that show, such a great example of that idea that I was sharing. And Samantha, you got to see it firsthand. It's Samantha and her family. I think 5 of you, 6 of you maybe, and the staff. And the Rose is a fantastic place. We've played there a few times when it was packed, and it can hold a lot of people. It's a good sounding room, great lights. And so we had great sound and great lights and a big stage, and we ran around it as if we were playing in front of thousands of people. And Samantha got to have that show. So that memory, and I still remember it. I mean, especially because, you remind me of it by you being here pretty much every week and tuning in. And I think back, and your brother Sean was so into it, and it's just so cool. So cool. Memories of Dee and my brother. Yep. I mean, priceless. Can't take that away from us. No one can take that away from us, those memories. They are priceless. Sarah says, awesome to be here tonight for all of this. I appreciate it. 5. It was 5 of you. 5 including you. Right? Wow. Lauren, Jennifer, Sean, obviously Samantha, and your aunt. Right? Yeah. Still have the picture in the big chair and my tie that's signed. Love it. Aunt Judy. Right? Is that right, Aunt Judy? Am I getting that right? I feel like that's right. You're going to tell me. Hopefully I got it right and you're not correcting me. No, you got it wrong. Yep, got it right. Nice. Yep. The Rose. It was the night before Thanksgiving. Yeah. Right on, my friend. Nobody can ever take that away. That's right. Yeah. Good stuff. I tell you, one of the one of the most thrilling things is pulling up to a town, pulling up to a venue that you've never played before, and you know it's going to be good. It's going to be a good vibe and a good show. When you start setting up, and people that are there for the night, that are there for the show, that don't know who you are, and they come up and they start chatting with you as you're setting up, and they're, hey, so are you guys a cover band? And nope, all originals. Oh, yes. When you get that reaction, that they're open to hearing what you do, and they don't want to hear cover songs, but they want to hear something new. And then, well, what kind of stuff is it? It's a mix of rock, funk, pop. You know, it's got fun energy, a lot of different influences. Prince, The Police, Chili Peppers, Billy Joel, The Cars, Jimi Hendrix, Zeppelin. I'm sure there's a ton more. On and on and on. And they're just like, I'm here for it. So you already know they're invested in having a good time. They're there because they want to have a good time. They want to hear something new. They don't want to hear the same old thing. They don't want to hear Freebird and Mustang Sally. Those are references from, my peer group will understand that. But for you younger folks, that have tuned in, you might not know those references. But I know the songs are great, but yeah, they're overplayed, and I don't want to play them. So it's awesome when you know this is going to be really fun. And then those are the days where our first song would be Boom. We would kick in the show with Boom. And watching, by the time you hit the first chorus and you got that head nod from people and that smile, and I'm looking at Dee, I'm looking at Kelly, and just, we got him. This is going to be fun. And then just song after song after song after song. And they're just hooked. They're in. And they're having a great time. And that's what it's all about. We're having fun. They're having fun. They're giving us energy. We're giving out energy. And it's just going back and forth and back and forth. It's magic. That's a fantastic night. That's what I love being part of. Sharing that energy. That's it. That's what it's about. Well, all right. So we know we're doing Believe in It next week and Rich People Problems. So those two for sure. We're coming up on 55 minutes of episode number 339 of Inside the OMG. I so appreciate you being here, and I look forward to next week, which will be episode 340. And, we can do it on the fly as well. Next week, and tell me what songs you want to hear. Box Spring, another one of my favorites. That the recording came out really great with what Matt did on bass. So Matt Sherrill on bass for the Livin' the Dream album just crushed it. And we've got some really cool bass parts that he did, because he did some bass overdubs. Not only did he do the main bass part, but typically in songs it's like there's one bass line and that's it. Whereas guitar parts, 6-string guitar, you've got all these little, parts that you can put all over, and a lot of bands will do that. But he was super creative, and he was like, let's do a bass wah-wah part in the verse. And so it's like on the left side, it's just like this wah 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 wah, and on the right side there'd be something else. And so we really filled it out with bass. So I love how that song came out on the recording, and occasionally when especially if it's been a while since I've heard the recorded version, I put it in, I crank it up, and it's just like, yes, bass. I love that bass. So good. All right, so we got, Sarah says, I'd love to hear Boom next time. It's the first one I came in. came in on, then Champions. All right, good night, everyone. That was Sean's all-time favorite song. Box Spring? Okay. Right now we got 4 songs for next week. We got Rich People, Believe in It, Boom, Box Spring. Okay. We'll fill in the blanks on episode 340, and I'll give you what you want to hear. Thank you so much for being here. Wow, this was, talking head show. Didn't play a single note of music. Glad you were here and part of the show. It's fun to kind of mix it up, right? Just kind of go with it, see what happens. I did even a little Dr. No Sleep narration, a little unreleased portion of a new Dr. No Sleep horror story. So that was fun. So, good times. All right. That's it. I'm out. I'll see you next time for episode 340. Be well. And take care. See you soon. Good night. Good night. Good night.